Well, hello there. How you doing? I don't know if you have the same issue I have. I'm having a hard time getting enough things done. You like stretched thin like I am? You feel like you're a butter that's been spread far too thin over a very large piece of toast? I actually feel that way. Actually, I don't feel that way. It is that way. I got to drive actually to Florida here in about 10 days. We can't afford to keep the Florida house, so we're going to list it for sale. And I got a few things in there, nothing really valuable, but clothing, a pressure washer, a leaf blower, um, just a few things to fill up the truck with, and then meet with the realtor and sell the house. I don't know if you know what's going on in Florida. Everybody's been flocking to Florida, and Florida's just become a trap. It's a very free trap, and it's infinitely better than all the blue run states and areas in as far as freedom goes. Yeah, for many countless reasons. You can't get insurance in Florida anymore. I mean, it's literally become impossible to get insurance in Florida anymore. I'll be happy to cancel the insurance after selling it down there, but you just have to sell it. Have to trim the fat, I guess, as you say. Um, and by the way, I've been talking about things getting worse. I couldn't actually I had to balance the tires on my truck, excuse me, balance the tires on my truck since I got a little wobble on them at high speed, so I'm going to drive to Florida and get all the valuables out of the house, nothing really valuable. I had to make an appointment at Costco. I couldn't get there. And it turns out that, somebody wearing a mask, several somebodies apparently, did a armored car holdup, and somebody got capped. I don't know who got capped, the armored car driver, or who knows which, the good guys or the bad guys. Somebody got capped, and they closed down Interstate 75, and they closed down a few primary roads there. So, yeah, armored car heist. Yeah, it's getting worse. Um, while I was waiting over there, there's a guy getting out of a Rivian, which is like the ugliest car I've ever seen in my life. It's like a half a truck, a half a car. And the license plate said plug-in, variant on plug-in. So I knew it was an electric vehicle. He had white glasses. You could just tell he's like the most woke individual you've ever seen in your life. And I'm so bad. When he started walking this way, I said, "Oh, you got an electric car there, do you? Running on lithium batteries?" And he said, "Yes, I do." He said it very proudly. And I went like this. What a crying shame. He didn't seem to like that too much. Man, I'm bad. That's just totally uncalled for. I'm bad. I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but the main groceries that I buy have gone up quite a lot in just the past month and a half, roughly. I have an admission to make. I've shown people pictures in live stream. I know land really, really well. I mean, even though when I was really young, I put money into gold and silver bullion, but silver as well as gold is a horrible, horrible investment. It's asset diversification. I've said that a million times. So I sold off most of my silver. I picked up, I'm not going to say the exact amount of acreage, but it's basically between 15 acres and 25 acres of land. It's drop dead gorgeous, and it has 2 springs on it. I just found out that there's a second spring on it. So I picked up this land adjacent to mine that's got 2 springs on it. So I sold my silver. The land is mine now. I had to go and get the notary with the guy that was selling the land today, which happens to be a guy that I know. I know land really well. And I believe I'm less diversified than I used to be because I got rid of basically all my silver, which I'd been collecting now for basically a decade. I don't feel bad about it. I looked at it from absolutely every angle possible. There's a lot of really good trees on there. There's basically about about $30,000 worth of good trees that could be taken off of there. It's got 2 springs on it, and there's this beautiful little homestead spot on there. So I picked that up. I have no money at all. I mean, if I had money, I wouldn't have had to sell my silver to get it. I wanted to talk about the United States. Sorry for that little story there. Um, you know, I can actually love America, but have absolutely, and this is not a video about politics. I don't want to discuss that. You know, I'm about common sense. I'm not on the left and I'm not on the right. But I can love America, but have absolutely zero respect for the GOVT. There's a really beautiful song by one of my favorite singers. There's a female singer. And towards the end of the song, she says, "I believe in the country America used to be." And it's a very brilliant line because I actually feel exactly the same way. I got to say that again since it's so brilliant. I believe in the country America used to be and its founding fathers. We could actually argue that it was corrupt from the very beginning. Yes, I know the United States of America is technically a corporation. And there are a lot of traps, and if I could actually go back 30 years, which I can't, and talk to myself for 30 plus years, I'd give myself some advice. Obviously, I'm 51 years old, I'm out of shape, I can't afford to take a real vacation, but most people can't, but I'd give myself some advice. And I'm not just talking about like stock tip advice or like invest in gold or rhodium. Those would all be really good ones, but I'd like to get to that in a minute. But I have an American flag hanging in my cabin. I sew these on some leather goods that people really want, like Americans. They love it. I thought, maybe they have some issues with it. I got a stack of American flags here. So I'm the furthest thing from anti-American, but I have to be rational and objective and say that this country is just hardcore corrupt. But I also, too, do not confuse capitalism with corporatism. That's not politics. That's just a statement of fact. You're just going to be politics. I am not. I'm not interested in discussing that at all for countless valid reasons. But I don't confuse capitalism with corporatism. I'm sorry, I don't. And if you do, then that's a fault that you have. We all have faults. You probably have that fault also. The United States is also, too, not a democracy. It never was. It's a constitutional republic. Most people don't know that either, but unfortunately most everybody went to public school systems. And therein you are brainwashed, you're not taught how to learn. I could just rag on and on about the public school system, until kingdom come. It's really, really bad, and it's destroyed 85% of American minds out there, and that's extremely unfortunate. I mean, it truly is extremely unfortunate. The United States is extremely corrupt. The fractional lending, the corrupt banks, the fact that they actually nearly airdrop, and I hear they still do it. When I went to University of Kentucky, I went to 2 different colleges, total waste of time, of course. The only thing that was not a waste of time was me hanging out at the University of Kentucky Library, which is really good and quite extensive. If you really have a desire to learn and to know, you don't need teachers, and you don't need, the library card is free. They talk about that in that movie Good Will Hunting. There's a really good line in there. It's like, when did you realize you spent like a fortune when you could have got the same education by getting a free library card? And that's a really, really, really accurate statement from that movie. I love that movie. I haven't seen it in ages. Starring Ben Affleck and Matt Damon or something like that. Neither actor of which I like at all, but that being irrelevant. They airdrop credit cards to colleges, and they did the same thing to me. I've had, I don't know, 5 or 6 credit cards in my life, but that form of debt slavery, it was just oppressive and miserable, and it actually preys upon, the non-forward thinking minds. Like, well, I don't care about the future where I'm, paying 24% interest or whatever it is. It's a lot higher in many cases now. I'm just going to buy this thing, and it'll make me happy for a little while, and then I'm going to be miserable forever because I'm going to be paying, the minimum balance. And if I keep doing that, I'm going to be enslaved forever. Thomas Jefferson said that the public debt is the greatest danger. If the American people allow private banks to control their money by inflation and deflation, then they will deprive the people of their property until their children will wake up homeless on the very continent that their forefathers conquered. Thomas Jefferson also, too, famously said that banks are more dangerous to our liberties than standing armies are. My favorite quote actually is from Benjamin Franklin, who's a guy that basically looks like me, except I didn't wear a wig, never have worn a wig. He said that anybody that sacrifices freedom for security deserves neither freedom nor security. I know a lot of Americans are talking, I see YouTube videos about it, and there's one YouTube channel that fled for Portugal. They actually fled there for other reasons because they were involved in a bit of a real estate fiasco that I won't get into, but they fled to Portugal. A lot of people are talking about fleeing the United States. Even as corrupt and deplorable as this country has become, and I know it's been bad for a really long time. The Fed and everything with it, and the fact that they've just enacted the draft for 18 to 26-year-olds, which that's never going to be put into effect. Nobody's going to pay attention to that. They're just not. Well, good luck with that. I mean, I'd like to know what country it is, that you're going to flee to that has a First or a Second Amendment. And, if I had to flee somewhere, people say, where would you go? It's like, where could I go on this globe where I have, as bad and corrupt as the USA is, that I would have those freedoms? And the answer is, there is nowhere. There just isn't. My Russian is absolutely без акцентов. I could live in Russia. I would not want to live in Russia. I'd rather live somewhere nice like the Bahamas. I can't stand the cold. Where could you go with your money? The only places that I know rationally you could go would be like Thailand or the Philippines. My pick would probably be the Philippines. I hear if you have basically no money, you could kind of live like a king, sort of, in the Philippines. I'm not looking for a life partner. Well, I'm not. I spend absolutely 0 seconds per week doing it, but I know I can't find one in the United States because everybody here is just completely delusional and brainwashed. I mean, it's horrible. It's like you have to go. I hate to say that because they call them passport bros, which is kind of a goofy saying, but I know it could happen in the Philippines. I could go there and find somebody normal. I hate to say this, but most American men that are looking for a life partner, somebody for the rest of their life, that kind of person, they want to roll the time back to when people were normal, like in the United States in the 1960s or 70s. It just doesn't exist anymore, and that's extremely unfortunate. I don't know any man that's ever said, I want to find me a wife who's going to cook and clean and stay in the kitchen. And I've never heard any guy say that. I don't know what I don't know what the other I don't know what the females think modern American men are thinking, but I've never heard one say any such nonsense. It's gotten really, really bad, and the United States and the media companies just destroying our society. It just absolutely is destroyed it. I'm 51 years old. I remember when things were normal. I had no idea it would get so bad. It got really bad starting around, well, I'm not going to say who. I'll let you figure that one out. They're feeding us foods to keep us sick and miserable. I know I'm fat, obviously. I'm actually worse than fat. I've lost like 35 pounds, but I'm going to keep continuing to lose. But I've switched to all organic, well, 95% organic, and I feel a ton better. I see people that are young and healthy, and I go and see them at the grocery store, and they got their basket, and the basket's full of, Rice Krispies and Doritos, and like, oh my God, they're still young and healthy, but it's like they're doomed. It's like, I know those foods make you feel good. I never grew up eating that stuff. I obviously eat too much, I don't get enough exercise, but I don't eat that garbage. Yeah, I never have. I never like sweets. They're just trying to destroy us. I mean, I'm nobody to preach, but I mean, been too sedentary, too stressed out, working 7 days a week. And, I was down at my friend's farm, and there's some people around there doing a bunch of manual labor. And they're like, say, when are you going to come down here and do A, B, C, X, Y, Z? They're like, I work 7 days a week. There's one person there, not a friend of mine, not a friend of mine. And this person thinks that unless you're actually, up to your ankles in pig scat and, sweat is pouring off your brow and I got nothing wrong with that, then you're not really working. I told that laughingly to my friend that owns the surplus store, and he said, you should tell that person that you make a living with these, but you make money with this. I was like, that's a really good one. I got to remember that one. You make a living with these, but you make money with this. I'm not trying to get ahead financially in this life, but I would like to take one day off a week and, have a vacation, once a year, kind of like a normal human being would. Yeah, I find that extremely repulsive. I actually, when that was said to me blatantly so by this person, when are you going to come down here and do some work? How about I try to pay my own damn bills and you mind your own frigging business? I didn't say that, but that's exactly what I was thinking. None of your business. I work 7 days a week. That really pissed me off, actually, but that's not my friends I'm referring to. It was somebody else that works down there. They just thought, well, you're going to be down here doing, oh yeah, I'll just let the bills pile up, I'll be down here doing, ABC, slopping the pigs. It's like, it's not going to pay the bills. I'm sorry, but I have to pay the bills. Some people are so clueless, it's absolutely beyond belief. Avoid all soda. I find it disgusting that I see people, and I know I'm unhealthy. I'm out of shape. I eat too much, but I don't eat bad, actually. I see people buying water in plastic bottles. And, you want some nice plastic flavored water. Buy things from local farmers and butchers. Buy things that last nearly forever. All these computers and this, I call it electronic trash. And I got plenty of electronic trash, but I use them to work with. But I put nothing into this electronic trash at all. As soon as you buy it, it's already obsolete garbage. I love America. The lands that I have, I've got over 200 acres now, spread out all over Kentucky. But I have no respect for the GOVT. I just don't. By the way, there is a shadow government. If you deny that, then you're extremely deluded. We actually have Hydra, we actually have the MIC, the Military Industrial Complex, and we also, too, have a shadow government. You have about as much control as the sheep has over the actions and proclivities of the farmer, or in this case, the rancher. A bunch of sheep get together and they think they got control over something. And they got no control over nothing. You just have the illusion of control. You can take a lot of that control back and be ungovernable. Say no, be ungovernable. The banks hate you. Let's be blatantly honest, and I love to hear from you. I love reading all the comments, except for the really nasty ones where people will post something horrible, which I don't care. People say whatever. I've heard everything. The banks hate you. By the way, please God, I beg you, never, ever, ever bank with Bank of America or Wells Fargo. If you do, then you really have your head in a dark place. If you're using BOA or Wells, big mistake. The GOVT hate you. I know plenty of advanced military personnel. I know a couple Navy SEALs. I know one Delta operator. I haven't heard from him in quite a while. They'll flat out tell you, these people are supposed to be the most valuable people, not just your average grunt soldier. The government despises these people. They treat them like trash. That's not my opinion. That's from their own mouths. The media hates you. They think you're stupid enough to believe their lies. The corporations absolutely hate you. The public schools want to subvert your mind in absolutely every way possible. It needs to be a return to the Constitution. There needs to be an end to property taxes. It should be a felony to violate any aspect of the Bill of Rights. It needs to be an end to eminent domain. I beg of you, whatever you think of me, don't eat their food. Don't go out and buy Doritos and mayonnaise. Who is that? There's my buddy sending me a thing on the Thomas Jefferson quote. Don't buy Doritos and mayonnaise and soda pop and what else? Rice Krispies, any sort of breakfast cereal. Anything that you see get advertised on the TV, don't buy it. I'm surprised I've not heard of this earlier in my life, but someone said, don't eat any food if it didn't exist like 180 years ago. If you couldn't find it from your farmer or from the mercantile, kind of like Little House on the Prairie days, if you couldn't find it 160, 180 years ago, then you shouldn't consume it. Very, very brilliant. That's what I've actually been doing for the past few months. Well, 95% of the time I have been. I feel like 1,000,000% better. Still fat as mud. I have no delusions about myself in any way, shape, or form. A lot of people are just so blissful walking around in total ignorance. And I know what that's, I know why they do it. It makes them happy and they don't really want to know. But eventually that'll always end up jumping up and bite you in the boo-boo. It always will. It makes people happy, and then eventually it wakes up and it bites you in the boo-boo. I'll let you figure out what the boo-boo is. Don't take in their education. Don't eat their food. Don't take in their education. Don't take the stuff that, I really shouldn't be saying those words, but the stuff that they write out on a little white script for you. If they tell you, safe and effective, come on, man. You know it's dangerous. If the GOVT says it's safe and effective, you should be going, run! Run! Run, Forrest, run! I would never suggest anybody take the same path I have. I mean, I'm alone 99% of the time, actually 100% of the time. Wisdom is a huge comfort. The things that I've actually discovered and realized in life are astonishing and amazing. I failed at having a family and a spouse. Well, I had one, but it was just pure misery for the both of us. Listen to her, slowly die every night for 10 years is absolutely horrible. But be as independent as you can. I beg you, if you think you can get some land, I've been telling everybody the way land has been going, and I watch land every day. Well, you don't really own it, you get paid property taxes. Yeah, enough of that nonsense, okay? I know all about property taxes. I'm paying more property taxes on way more properties than you are. I think I know what property taxes are. They steal your land. You're not going to debate me about it because you're wrong. You don't really own it because you pay property taxes. Yeah. I've heard that so many thousands of times. You're partially true, but you're ultimately wrong. The government can come and take it. It's never really yours. Well, this body's not really yours either. If you don't pay your yearly tag fee on your vehicle, where they got to put a little sticker in the corner of your vehicle, then you can't drive the car on the road, technically. It's like, it's my car, it's totally paid for, I got insurance on it. Yeah, but did you pay your registration renewal, which happens every year? No, I didn't. Well, you're not supposed to be driving it on the road. Well, technically, that's true. So you don't really own your car then, do you? You can't do anything with it even though you own it. We could go down that road all you want, but nothing takes care of you better than land does. This is the reason why I got rid of the most of my silver. And by the way, I made a pretty good profit. I bought most of that silver at $17 an ounce, and right now it's basically $30 an ounce. I'll let you do the math. Silver is top 5 worst investments. I never bought it as an investment. I never recommended silver or gold as an investment. Rather, asset diversification. Silver might go up to $50 next week or next month or something. Hey, you sold all your silver. Look at that. Silver's now $50. Yeah. Well, yeah, this is true. But I still made a substantial profit on the silver. I got rid of it and I flipped it into something I know even better than precious metals, and that's land. That land I got is beautiful, and 2 springs on it, and this beautiful homesteading spot, and this beautiful garden area. Very, 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 very beautiful. And it's right next to the land I already own. So, I'm just begging you, don't take their food, don't take their education. If they tell you it's safe, you know it's dangerous. If they tell you it's dangerous, it's probably... Remember when they told us for years and years, butter's dangerous, yeah! They're telling us to eat seed oils, and I'll never eat any seed oils again. I mean, I just got sick. I love salads, and I put salad dressings on my salad. Didn't know any better. Canola oil bases and all sorts of other bases and those salad dressings. Like, man, I feel like hell. How can I feel like hell so bad? I just had this super organic salad. Yeah, but you put that seed oil all over it. That's why you feel so bad. I had a steak and mushrooms today. I kind of get sick of eating steak and mushrooms every day, but just be as independent as you can. This country is corrupt right to the core, from the top to the bottom, but I appreciate the good things about it. Once again, from that song, the line in that song that I really like, actually, by that female singer. Says, I believe in the country America used to be. And I do love America and Americans, but I just have absolutely no respect for the infrastructure. Both the corporate and the hydra that's behind it, or the shadow government, or the MIC that's running and controlling everything and trying to oppress everybody. Everything is right on the edge of a precipice. The brakes and the wheels are gone on the bus, and everything is just about to go right over the cliff. I don't think or feel or believe that's the case. I know that's the case. Tell me what you think. You want everyone to contact me? The information is in the description below. Any donations always warmly welcome. I love to hear from you. And Lux Veritas. Have a lovely week.